Hello world! Frida Darcy and Patricia O'Connor here, and they told us that today was going to be a nice, cool return to fall. They were mistaken. It is another 90-degree day in Alameda, 90 plus degree day in Alameda, and I don't think our pines particularly, I don't think our Japanese black pines are hating this a whole lot. I don't know about this guy. I worry about my ponderosas, all three of them. And the other thing I was talking about is in some other videos that where I was discussing heat, is the hardiness. Your heat hardiness drops off as you go into fall. So I worry about 100. Is that what that says? So on days like today, you might have to water more than once. And that's good though. It's good that I'm here to do this. I'm not always here to do this. 3 days a week, I'm not here to do this. And lucky for me, I was here for 2 of the 3 days that our weather was doing it. And now, instead of saying where they said our weather was going to get, and we have an air show. Yay. Yeah, an air show. I'm not the biggest, not the one, but I'm not the biggest air show fan. I mean, they were pretty cool. They were pretty cool when I was a kid, but to be honest, I've seen more of them on TV that went bad than I've actually gone to. That's not true. I went to a couple of Blue Angel shows around Atlanta, around the 4th of July and stuff. Seemed like that was a happening thing several years back. But it's a bazillion degrees here in Alameda, California. We're hovering right around 90 something. They're not calling it 90 degrees here. I think right now they're calling it 88. But on the 4th floor without AC, because normally we brag that we don't need AC. We are paying for that now. And that's kind of what's going on. Oh, I bet that I have some water set up. I have some water set up for the hummingbirds. I better make sure it doesn't turn into 1,000,000 degrees. So yeah, that'll cool it off. And I'm just kind of going through, making sure nobody gets cooked. This trident maple looks like it's hanging in there okay. The problem I'm going to have when it comes time to trim back this trident maple, the problem I'm likely to have is that the weather will change enough here in Alameda for the leaves to drop, but probably not enough to stop the sap from flowing. So I'll have to worry about how much this tree bleeds and stuff whenever I finally do. Not so much with this guy. This guy will be fine. But that is something I believe to be concerned with, because maples, they do kind of bleed a lot. I probably shouldn't be pouring any of that on the ball cypress trees. I should save this amount for the smaller containers that are dry. I can go refill our larger watering can whenever I need to top that off again. And I don't think those guys, as in the ball cypresses, I don't think they necessarily need it right now. As you can see, my cork bark oak is still dropping leaves like nobody's business. It's just dropping leaves, just tons at a time. And it's still putting out stuff. Now, right now it may look like it's in shade. It's not. It's getting ambient. The sun reaches in here earlier in the day. Now we're sort of in shadow, but even then it's still getting some ambient. And it gets quite a bit of light from the grow lights. But it's after 3 o'clock, and those have just popped off for the day. So I rotate the tree once a day while it's here, and it does drop and cook less leaves. And cooks less leaves since I've taken it out of the sun, and especially it was dropping them double when it was over there in the 90-degree heat. And then yesterday was hotter, but it was already over here, so it did better. And today was supposed to be in the 60s or 70s, I believe. And it was, as I just showed you, it was another 98-degree day. That was just about as close to 100 as you could get on that thermometer. But that partly is because I'm up here. Also, I hadn't really thought about this, but some of the problems I've been having with my trees on the rail, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but that proximity to that swimming pool, the sun is right out there, and that would be a bank shot right up here coming, underside. Like, the leaves are used to getting light here, but not so much here. And that could have been some of the issues I was having with some of my trees that I noticed parked on the outside. It's like they were doing better on the side that was lit than the side that was exposed to the sun, and it might have been because they were also exposed to bounce. I don't know why that didn't occur to me before now, but that did just occur to me today. Anyway, this is just a little short ditty. I thought it was going to be a nice and pleasant day, but we got thrown a curve. They're also calling for rain come Monday. And now the nice weather that they said we would have today, they are now saying we will get tomorrow, the cooler weather. This California oak cares not. It says, bring it on. It doesn't have any of the issues that the cork bark does. It's just putting out stuff and putting out stuff. And I've just about decided at some point I'm going to have to bite the bullet and do some sort of carving on them. This is where a lot of our structure might be coming from, but I might pick one of these out at a time and try to carve those back so they don't look like huge clubs on the end. Or maybe I'll just look into, maybe I can just cut those back a little bit without, and making them look less club-like without doing a whole lot of damage to all the stuff coming out on the end. Or maybe that'll sort itself out some whenever I settle that into choices. But that's stuff I've been thinking about on that California coastal oak. I really like the way it has progressed this season, and it's just filling right out, and it's not having any other problems that our cork bark is. And I think in the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rethink my use of neem. It works just like I expect it to on some things and seems to be problematic for others. And I want to see if I can find a solution that I can use more widespread when it comes to powdery mildew and stuff. I don't want something that's going to cause needles or leaves to burn more because it's in there. I don't want something like, as Elizabeth was warning of, that it clogs the stoma, and then trees have a hard time, leaves have a hard time surviving that as well. So that's kind of what's going on there. That's kind of what's going on there. I'm going to reevaluate my use of neem and look for another alternative solution to powdery mildew. While at the same time, this coming this coming late winter and beginning of spring, just our little transitional period. That's when it is said to be time to repot these. And I'm repotting this. I'm repotting this. I want to especially go after the area in the pot directly underneath the trunk. That's called the sheen. And I especially want to make sure that I've cleaned out that area. It's probably like me to dig away. It was like an adobe brick, and I probably chewed it away all the way. I remember chewing a hole all the way through the adobe brick here and going, good, we made it all the way through. But you also don't want to eliminate everything on these guys. You want to leave some of the root mass not messed with, so that you just don't remove everything. So probably what I would have done was chewed away at the edges until I felt like I had done that excessively, and then gave everything room to grow back out. And this time I want to do just the opposite of that. Work on that outer edges too, but I definitely want to go at the sheen directly underneath. Make sure all of that there's, for all I know, that could have been, that would have been back in Johnny Cedar, the garden I got the trees from. That would have been one of their replantings that are repottings that would have addressed that area. So by the only thing I could possibly do to address that is, one, what I just said, and two, pot it in something slightly larger. Because I always wondered if this thing was underpotted, but I'm not 100% sure. I think making sure that I'm making use of all the root mass, all the area that the root mass has, and I'm not sitting there with something underdeveloped, dead underneath. Because as I've been told before, that's basically like the gut of the tree. It's just dead underneath, and your tree might not be any healthier than that. And I was also told in lessons about this tree that I started watching after my repot that said your building, your structure, everything here starts there. And I remember hearing that and going, ruh-roh. I wonder how much work I actually did on that sheen, because I felt like I had done a pretty good job here, but also I wasn't having the most fun that particular time. It was the same week that I had lost a dog that I'd had for 16 years, so I could not have been in perfect mental shape. But that wasn't the best day. But I repotted this, and I think I showed the tree after that. I don't know if I still have those videos. But that's kind of what's going to go on there. Here's my plan of action, is kind of what I've been taking a long time to say. One, rethink neem. Find if I can find something that won't add to the problem if I try to attack powdery mildew with it. Two, when it comes repotting season, repot this guy. Even if we go back in with the same pot, I don't know that it's underpotted, and this is an otherwise good pot. But make sure we're making use of all the root mass, and that way, if we have a good sheen, if we have a good healthy base and a good healthy root mass, then we should be able to sustain structure year round and build our foundation and our secondary and our tertiary without things getting weak and burning off. This could be that it's just harder to water and it's tied in here, or it could be that I don't have the root mass to sustain this in summer, or it could be that I'm flatly not watering it enough. But I don't think that's the case. I've kind of known that in the hot months you can definitely water these guys, and I don't spare the ponies. When it comes to the oaks, I'm more likely to overwater something like when it comes to my pines and stuff. So that's kind of been my MO. But this is kind of what and just those kind of leaves, those leaves I just pulled off there. Now my hands are all oily from the neem I applied 3 weeks ago. So, that's kind of in thinking with where my head is at the moment. And that's going to be it. That's our Saturday post. We're going through and watering all of our trees again, making sure everybody's needs are met on these